All right, and then Anthony's glasses fogged up with the next match.
Well, was that even a match?
Well, it didn't start off as a match.
VTR, wasn't it?
Vignette or whatever you call it. A bit like that Undertaker AJ Styles thing.
Yeah.
Was that at WrestleMania or something like that? Or
yeah, it was WrestleMania. Yeah.
Which was interesting because sorry, I was cutting on Anthony's intro.
So that took us into what it looked like we were building up for the casket match, but then it flicked into a little bit of a VTR where it had Alba Fyre calling out Mandy Rose to meet at a abandoned house.
Yes. So it was a wee bit like a House of Horrors match to start off with, and if you remember, it may have been last year at Halloween Havoc when Cameron Grimes was in the same house against that the one who's just appeared now on Raw, and he's sort of scaring Miz.
Oh, Dexter.
Loomis, yeah.
Yes, Dexter Loomis. Now, that was exactly the same. I think it was either last year or the year before. I'm pretty sure it was last year, but it was the same house, and it was Dexter Loomis and Cameron Grimes.
They must have went to Vince's house.
Well, he's probably not there anymore.
Yeah.
He's living in a penthouse in New York at the moment with a new lady friend.
That's a hard life.
Well, someone has to do it.
That's right.
So it was a bit of a House of Horrors match to start off with. And then, of course...
they should have done the whole match there.
Well, obviously, if they were going to bring the two main combatants back to the arena, they then obviously needed the matches in between to allow travel time, so to speak, even though that vignette part would have been recorded probably a week ago. But nice placement for Range Rover. They got a couple of good placements in there. But given that we're talking about how it started and that, they go to the haunted house thing, it's almost identical to Dexter and Grimes of a year or so ago, the opening part. It's just the people were different. But anyway, so should we continue with it with the match itself for reviewing, or come back to it as an order as the show went?
I think probably come back to it because it really didn't continue. It was more about that.
It was more like that. They did that, and then later they come back to the arena and actually sort of start the match properly.
It was absolutely silly the way they did it.
Yeah.
It was. Because who's going to lie in the backseat of a car without being handcuffed in that for half an hour drive back without jumping out the car and running away? Well, Mandy Rose assumed that she'd lied there. They put a cloth over her head like a bird, and went to sleep. Right? So she stayed in the back of this car for half an hour and then walked out the car and fought this girl in the ring for her belt.
Well, I did that once, but if you want to read the rest of it, you'll have to read Penthouse Forum.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She took care of her friends, and then her friends got back, which I don't know how they got back.
How did they get back?
That was my argument. I don't know if there was another car there, what the story was.
Probably the cameraman's car.
Yeah. I mean, that's how stupid it all was. For fuck's sake. Give some believability.
If they're going to do it, then do what Undertaker and AJ did and actually
have the match there.
Yeah, and then finish it off.
Yeah. You could have set that into some form of barn, and in the barn there's a ring, and there's a referee that's a ghoul, and friggin' well have the match. Not lie in the back of the car like a bird with a friggin' rag over its head so you don't move for half an hour drive back. Well,
I'll tell you what, though, that Alba Fyre's got something to say. It's not often you can get Mandy Rose in the back of a car for an hour.
All depends on how much money you got in your pockets.
Well, maybe after 160 million coming up, but we'll talk about that later.
That's right.